Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk, live from Los Angeles. Erick Weber here in the MMT host chair as we discuss the goings-on in the movie universe, and we have another Insidious movie to talk about. So you see on the bottom of your screen the scroll that says slow box office weekend ahead. And that was before I had a chance to absolute misery sitting through this film. Watch Insidious, The Red Door. This is Insidious number 5, okay? And you're wondering, why have they made 5 Insidious films? Because they don't cost a lot of money. They have very high return on investment. And as such, when you make money on films, they're going to keep making more of them. And guess what? That's what we have here with this film. But the first thing that you need to be aware of, and this is a teachable moment for you, MMT audience, whenever we get these, we really want to drill down on them. When a studio does not do any media screenings for a film until the day it releases, which is exactly what Sony did with Insidious, The Red Door. They didn't show it to anyone until this morning. You know that the studio is aware that they have a really terrible film on their hands. And after seeing Insidious, The Red Door, I can tell you, Sony, you are exactly correct. What an unspeakably dull film. I have not been this bored in a film since Beau is Afraid. We're putting it in the same context as my worst film of 2023, and I argue one of the worst films ever. I am very distraught here tonight that I did not wait to announce my worst of 2023 list until after I had seen this film, because it would have been top 5, no question. I want to thank my audience tonight at the AMC 6 packed house, which speaks to why we have another one of these films. Young crowd too, but they were silent. Not even a peep from anybody, because it's not scary, right? It's not funny. It's not anything, because this script is both those things, and then some kind of mix of like The Shining, and just at the end of the day, when you just say, what is this film? You would just say boring, lifeless, unfrightening, pointless. Why did I sit through almost 2 hours of Patrick Wilson's debut as a director? Now, usually this is where we come in and like hammer the first time director and say it's his fault. It's actually not Patrick Wilson's fault. And let me tell you why, because the direction's fine. It's not like the direction is an issue. When you look here at the Insidious franchise and we pull it up, I can't believe we've had 5 of these. It's like, what? But you start with James Wan, then you go to Lee Wannell, and then you have Adam Robitel. I don't even know who that is. Do you guys know who that is? Let's click on it. I have no idea who that is. Escape Room, Tournament of Champions, which wasn't terrible. He did one of the Paranormal Activity movies. Okay, well, and now you have Patrick Wilson, who's like, okay, if you want me to still be in this, let me make my directorial debut. But it's not his fault. It is the screenplay here that is written by Scott Teems. Okay, let's go ahead and savage Scott Teems for making us sit through this film. He helped write Halloween Kills. Shockingly, not Halloween Ends. And Firestarter. Oh my God. How is this dude still working in Hollywood? These are all terrible films. I mean, Firestarter's funny, terrible. This isn't even humorous. Nothing about Insidious, The Red Door. Listen to me, please. There's not a reason to sit through this film. I was your sacrificial victim tonight to sit through this. You do not need to. But between Halloween Kills, Firestarter, and now Insidious The Red Door, Scott Teems, you are in writer jail for whenever they finish up the strike. You're still away. You're not. Oh shit. Apparently he drafted the story for Exorcist, the new David Gordon Green take on that. Oh my God. Scott Teems, you have something on somebody. There's no other explanation for how you are still writing films. This film is so dull. It is the Scream 6 of the Halloween Ends of the Insidious franchise, and it gets a 15% on our Midnight Movie Talk score. That's really terrible. I believe that's our second worst grade of the year, because Beau is Afraid got a 0, and this is just slightly above, and the only reason it's not closer to 0 is that it's only 150. It should be 130, not 3 hours. But this film is legit terrible. But listen, a lot of times we come on here and we talk about films, and you guys go, oh, I want to see this now. I can't wait to watch Beau is Afraid or Scream 6 or Cocaine Bear or Paint. This, you need to listen. If I could just grab you by the head. Don't do this. It's not worth it. You will regret, 10 minutes in, you're going to regret the decision to go see Insidious The Red Door. Please don't do it to yourself. And this is going to be a bomb, right? I mean, it'll make decent money opening weekend, which will be like 24 million. Maybe I'm going to go closer to 20 after seeing it. The only reason is because we've had nothing in theaters and people are ready to go. It's horror. Young audience will go see anything. But when the word gets out, like I'm telling you, and trust me, everyone's going to have this reaction. This film's done. It's over. They're actually thinking about making a spin-off of the Insidious franchise, some kind of tangential story like we've seen with the Conjuring universe. Please, Sony, don't do it. Don't make us sit through another Insidious movies after this. Real Russell Wilson. I'd rather watch Scream 6 because at least absurdly entertaining. You hit this on the head. Bam, wham. Because that's exactly the difference between the two films. Scream 6 is bad because they turn that franchise into a joke, into a parody of itself. At least you are laughing and rolling your eyes around in your head, watching them climb between buildings on a ladder, or at the end, the shrine to the Scream, the ghost face killers. You at least have that. Here, you don't have anything but hopefully a recliner that you can curl up in a ball and snooze for good portions of the film and miss nothing. Legitimately not miss one scare, one interesting moment, one character that's well written. You will not miss any of these things if you sleep from frame 1 to the end. And to kick you in the nuts that much more, at the end of the film, there is a cover version of Shakespeare's Sisters' Stay. And if you're like me, you hold that song in very high regard. Like, I would say for a 90s song, that's a classic. Go listen to it if you haven't. I know you've heard the song. A cappella, very minimal instrument with it. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, holy crap, this is a cover of Shakespeare's Sisters' Stay. So that's even the bigger desecration of everything. This is easily one of the worst films of the year. Top 5, maybe my number 2, because at least Paint is reasonably short, and there are things you can laugh at how bad it is. This film, you won't even laugh. You'll just have no reaction and you'll want to leave. You'll want to walk out of the film. From the trailer, the movie looked cheap and has nothing to do with the budget. It looks like it's shot in one dorm room, which it essentially is. It must have been a COVID shoot. I didn't think about that until right now when you mentioned this, Jaffo. But when you see these films that are very intimate and the locations are just like a room, that speaks to a COVID shoot. Go back and look at The Whale. Same thing, right? How easy was that to shoot during COVID? It all takes place in his apartment. Same thing here. It's dark, uninteresting to look at. It's set at a university. We hardly even see the college. Not that I wanted to, wouldn't have made the movie any better. But again, it speaks to what you say. It's cheap. It's COVID looking. And then it's boring. So, wow. I mean, there's nothing to recommend here. Not one single element. Joyride, thank you, Whiplash. That you guys are killing it tonight. This is what I need. I need you guys to drive the show forward with your comments, which is exactly where I wanted to go here. If you are looking for a film to see this weekend, and I know you are because you're done with Indiana Jones like we all are. We're going to talk about that in a second. And you've got nothing until Mission Impossible. And you want to go, you have A-List, you have Regal Unlimited. You need to go see Joyride. Joyride is light years stronger than this film. Funnier, better, more, everything about it is better. Go see Joyride. Do not go see Insidious 5. Not even one reason. Not Patrick Wilson, not music, not score, not cinematography, not anything. Not even one moment of this film. It is a slog. I wanted to leave. The only reason I didn't leave is because I can't talk about the film if I leave. What am I going to do at that point? So Whiplash, excellent. Okay, let's keep moving here because, I mean, listen, it's Insidious 5. We've drilled it to death. It's over. The film deserves to disappear from our sight right now. Let's talk about this. Indiana Jones continues to sink. And when you talk about a film, this is a summertime release. This should be doing really strong numbers during the week. Especially, remember this, July 4th was on Tuesday. That means a lot of people took this whole week off, right? They took, obviously, Monday off, Tuesday, a lot Wednesday. So they should have gone to see the movie on Wednesday. And look what it did on Wednesday. 5.5 million for summertime 4-quad blockbuster film. That is terrible. And here's why. It's not a 4-quad film. And Disney, you should have known this. The reason it's not a 4-quad film is because you don't have younger audiences in at all. So at best, it's a 3-quad film. It might even be a 2.5. If you don't have young kids during the summer going to see your movie, your film's dead. And Indiana Jones is proving that. Dial of Destiny, look at the number. It's atrocious for a Wednesday in the middle of summer. Theater owners were absolutely bent over by this film because there's nothing in theaters now that's driving people to go. Insidious is going to do very minimal number. We'll talk about what that is in a minute. But it's going to be like 20. And then you look at Joyride, maybe it gets to 10. And then you have Indiana Jones just sucking the life out of movie theaters right now. Nobody wants to see it. Here's what I want to ask you guys, and this is going to be the fun topic here tonight. I posed this question today on Twitter, and I was doing it because I wanted to see what I wanted to do with it tonight. And after I've thought about it, I think it's something we need to discuss. And I want your take on this now. Come in with the comments. If we replace Phoebe Waller-Bridge in Indiana Jones in the Dial of Disaster, and we put Florence Pugh in the role, and we make, obviously, his goddaughter younger, hipper, hotter, cooler, everything that Florence Pugh is over Phoebe Waller-Bridge, does that save the film? It changes the film markedly, because remember Black Widow. What's the best single element of that film? David Harbour's very good, but it is Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh has the goods. She is a star. She has range. Imagine her. Instead of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, you have Indy's goddaughter as a hippie, because as you guys know, it takes place, what is that, 69, moon landing. And then you have Florence Pugh as a hippie. Are you more interested in the film? Then you can have her be the more badass action star that she was, as we saw with Black Widow. She can do that. And she also has, again, the element of attractiveness that, let's face facts, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is not hot. Okay, guys, I said this. I don't care if that's not nice. I don't clip this and let's go for it. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is never going to be called, and I'm going to use this, people, oh my God, a hottie, right? You're never going to look at her and go, oh, because there's a part, as we talked about in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Disaster, where there's a guy, her old boyfriend's like, oh, I love you, honey. And you're just watching it, and instantly the disconnect happens where you go, there's no guy that's going to really be that invested in Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And sorry, that's just the reality of it, guys. And you guys know I'm right. Whether it's mean or not, you know I'm right. So those who think it's mean, too bad. I got news for you. Too fucking bad. Florence Pugh, on the other hand, is the opposite. Like, you see Florence Pugh and you go, there, hello, this makes sense. I see why a guy would be like, come here, Florence, we love you. Not Phoebe Waller-Bridge. So as such, does she save the movie? Phoebe Waller-Bridge's performance is outstanding. She's an a-hole, but somehow charming. The real problem with Indy, listen, it's not, you're missing it. Superhero movies, I dig your passion, but you miss the point so often, and I need you to pay attention right now because I'm going to speak directly to you and anyone who doesn't understand this stuff. It's not that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is a bad actress or she ruins the film. She's the wrong actress for the role. Do you see the difference? You got to understand that. When we discuss these things, we're talking about casting decisions that were wrong. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge was wrong for this movie. Florence Pugh is a better choice. And right now, I've said it before and I'm doing it again. I'm here on a YouTube channel on a Thursday night. I should not have ideas to try to save your movie here at my place versus in your room, Disney, telling you to put Florence Pugh in this movie and not Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I'm not suggesting that the film would be saved by Florence Pugh and it would be like over 150 million right now and all that. No, what I'm telling you is that it would be a better casting decision and more young people would want to see your film. And you guys know I'm right. You know I'm right. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is pretty hot. No, I can. Listen, here's the thing, though, Bodie. It's not controversial, but the problem is now with the world, especially Twitter, you're saying, how dare you say a woman's not attractive? All women are attractive. Listen, come on, guys. Don't tell me how to think. We all know we're born with, it's just the reality of life, right? If you were to line up 5 guys or 5 girls and you just were, say, here's the lie detector test, which one of these is the hottest, which one, you're going to be able to do that because it's called human nature. We just look and we are attracted to beauty. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge, while she's not unattractive, no one's going to say, but she's not a hottie, right? The traditional, like a Florence Pugh works, or go to look at, a Jessica Alba or whatever, go back through the annals of the Heather Locklear and Farrah Fawcett. God, don't make me list it. You guys know what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm saying. But now when you say something like that, how dare you say so? Phoebe Waller-Bridge is, I think, a talented actress, and she's good at what she does in that thing, right, that she does. But she's not a sex pot. So don't try to sell me on Phoebe Waller-Bridge as a sex pot because it's not going to ring as authentic. And remember what we talk about when we talk about inauthenticity. That's woke to me. Woke is not, oh, we're putting this person in because the race or whatever. It's when you force something in there that is obviously not reading as authentic. You've watched the movie and you go, I'm taken out of the film. That is what woke means to me. And for me, I'm just going to say inauthentic. And for Phoebe Waller-Bridge to be posing as any kind of sex pot is inauthentic. And it takes you out of the film. And I know, sorry if that's controversial, but listen, and Bodie, the reason I say that is because there are a lot of people out there who, when they hear that, will be so charged by that, going, how dare you? I have news for you guys. For those of you who need your safe places, the world is not a safe place. The world's a mean place often, and you need to learn how to exist in that world without taking offense at stuff like someone saying Phoebe Waller-Bridge is not a sex pot. Get along with your life. It's how it works, man. I don't know what to tell you. We're not going to pretend that something is A when it's actually B. We're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to do that. We're going to call it like we see it. It's what the channel's founded on, for God's sake. Whiplash, to be fair to Phoebe, the character isn't well written. Yes, fair, but we're not talking about that. Whiplash. Again, we're just talking about this. Answer this, guys. I don't want to talk about Phoebe Waller-Bridge anymore. Does Florence Pugh make this movie more energetic, more fun, more badass, more interesting, bring in younger audiences? The answer to that is yes. And you guys know I'm right. Give me a like because I know I'm right there. So, Disney, why am I here on the stream making your films better? Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning budget, 290, box office tracking 60-80. It's going to be way past that. Kevin, listen again, love you being here. I know you dig box office. I'm going to tell you you're 100% wrong in this. You are so wrong on Mission Impossible. This film is going to pop. It is going to play throughout the rest of the summer. And Paramount is leaving it only in theaters, not on streaming. Everyone's going to be driven to theaters just like they were for Maverick. You wait. The reason that Mission Impossible is going to pop with a bigger number than what the tracking says is because we've now had multiple weeks with nothing significant in the marketplace. Indiana Jones underperformed. This weekend, we got Insidious and Joyride, two films that are small. And that means we are on the cusp of a massive wave that is called Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. This will win summer. This will make $1 billion at the box office. I don't care what the other films have done. This film is perfectly situated to absolutely rake cash until through August. And you're going to say Barbie and Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, don't worry about. Not going to happen. Barbie, different audience. There's definitely room in the marketplace for two successful, huge films. We need that. We haven't had that in a long time, where you had two films at once. You had it earlier this year. I got to go back and look at the schedule. I know it was at least 1 or 2 weekends where you had two big films. You had Transformers and Spider-Verse, right? Transformers, not as big as a Mission Impossible or a Barbie, but still a $60 million film. And then you had Spider-Man still doing huge numbers. So you can do this. It will happen where both those films do well. I am coming around to Barbie. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The reason I'm coming around to Barbie is because I am hearing younger voices say they're excited to see the film. So if I know that the younger folks have interest and they're aware of Barbie, then I'm going to take that number and go higher. I'm going to go higher on that number. Phoebe Waller-Bridge or Grace Randolph. Oh, shit, Real Opinion. Why you got to do this? Leads perfectly into my next thing, by the way, because I'm going to go with a Grace Randolph story. Can I wait till the end of the stream to answer that? I'm gonna hold and let me ruminate on that. This is a Grace Randolph story, guys. I'm sorry if some of you are like, I can't believe we're sourcing Grace Randolph, but here's why I want to talk about it, because it's interesting to me, because I love Matt Reeves and I would love nothing more than this to be true. Here's the rumor. Warner Brothers to expand and build out Matt Reeves's The Batman vision to an entire cinematic universe. So it's a rumor. Here it is from Grace Randolph. I hear reports of building out the Reeves-verse are true with additional filmmakers. I think it's crazy to have competing, fully fledged cinematic universes. I don't, okay? I do not think it's crazy, because if you have, we've certainly seen that you can have multiple Batman. We're going to see that coming up when you have both what's his ass from The Flash, Machete, and then you have Reeves doing the Batman. I don't think it's going to be a problem, because it's such a huge character that people are going to be okay with that. So Matt Reeves, if he has say on his cinematic universe, I trust in Matt Reeves's artistic vision. And as such, if this is true, I love it. I think it can work. I don't think it's smart for, I know Zaslav said we're going to go down one path. Listen, things change. They just saw obviously what happened with The Flash. We got to start, just throw shit away and just keep trying again, try again. And they had success with, as we know, Joker. Batman succeeded. So why not continue down that path? And then you can still build your DCU through James Gunn. I don't see an issue here. You still need to not give us too many films. Like, one of the big problems with any genre is when we get so much of that and we get to the point where we're burnt out, right? The comic book fatigue. The comic book movie fatigue is real, no question. Just wait until the Marvels comes out. That film is dead. I saw the trailer tonight. The crowd was literally watching the trailer with no reaction, and they reacted to virtually every other trailer. We got about 10 of them. And when Marvel's came on, it was like as quiet as it was for Insidious, The Red Door. Not a sound in the entire place as the Beastie Boys played, and everyone's like, what am I watching? Is this Shazam or is this the Marvels? That movie's dead. The other movie that's dead, we've talked about multiple times, is Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's dead. Guys, bury it now. It's going to bomb. It's going to be a huge financial loser for Warner Brothers. I don't know what the total on the budget was. Hopefully it wasn't over 100. I wouldn't put that over 50 because that's a dead movie. Diana, MI7 has a 98 Rotten Tomatoes and 124 because let's talk about that for a moment. Let me pull it up. And we can come back to any of these things. Trust me, guys, whatever you want to do, I'm good with tonight because after sitting through Insidious, The Red Door, I need to discuss something that'll get me excited again because that movie sucked the life out of me. It's at 50%. How is it not at 0, Insidious? Oh my God, how is that at 50? Hold on, I'm going to go to, just give me a second here, guys. I didn't think I was going to do this, but as you know, we're live, and I can't stop when I see there's 50%. That 44, it's going down. Okay, who gave it a positive? Who gave it a positive? Megan Navarro from Bloody Disgusting. Wilson reminds audiences why they fell for the Lambert family with a sentimental sequel that tenderly... This is shit. Megan, what are you doing? The movie is terribly boring. How dare you even give it 2.5 out of 5? By the way, it's not even good. Perry, remember we talked about Perry? Is it Nemirov? 3.5 out of 5. Oh my God. Thank you, Carla Hay. Next door, she says it's poorly constructed and it's dull. Thank you, Carla Hay. Perry, learn a thing from Carla. You don't know what you're doing. Remember what Perry does. Perry talks about movies before the movies and those little things. She can't hammer films. And Perry, credibility, good night. It's over when you recommend The Red Door. It is one of the most boring films I've ever sat through. Josh Corgnut from Dread Central, 3.5 out of 5. Shannon McGrew, 3.5. What are you guys doing? Oh my God. What? Enough already. Thank you. Plays like someone read the outlines of 3 or 4 average horror movies and then watched a couple of episodes of Stranger Things with a bottle of gin and a mild concussion. Graham Tuckett, thank you. These critics are over. Shannon, over. Josh, Perry, it's over. Megan, done. Oh, God, watch out. There's a bunch of female critics in there, Weber. This film is as boring as anything I've ever sat through. And if you give it 3.5 out of 5, all of you are canceled. Holy shit, are you guys terrible at your jobs? You're terrible. It's embarrassing to me. You're an embarrassment to film criticism and film evaluation. If you recommend Insidious, The Red Door, you are over. It's that boring. It's that uneventful. It's that dead of a watch. Oh my God. I was just going to have a cool night and say it wasn't good. And then I had to stumble upon this shit. I can't believe what I'm doing. I can't believe I'm reading this. Okay, back to the super chat, everybody. Let's look at the review for the reviews are at 98% for where is it? Come on. Why is it not like the first movie? Why do I have to go through a million? And I get out of here, Ed. Why do I have to go through a million things to find? Where is it? Do you guys see what I'm saying? It's not here. Who is running Rotten Tomatoes that new and upcoming movies does not have Mission Impossible? It's not even listed. Do you guys see this? You guys, we'll start with Boogeyman and we'll go backwards. Do you even see it here? I guess these movies are all out, but still it says upcoming movies. No, I'm angry. I'm just kidding. I'm just yelling at this point because I can't do it anymore with these critics are so terrible. I want you guys to know one more time. I gotta literally type in this Mission Impossible because it's not here. What an embarrassment of a site. Everyone's coming to read the reviews for Mission Impossible, and you don't even have it like right there for people to see. I have to like type in mission and then an I, and then I get it. This is whoever runs this site, you're a fail. You're almost as big a fail as half the critics. No, nay, 90% of the critics on this. 90% of the critics are terrible at this job, and you shouldn't listen to them. They don't know what they're doing. They have no taste. They can't evaluate their way out of a bag. They're absolutely untalented at this, and as such, I'm going to riff and ram and hammer these people for the end of time. That's what this channel will end up being. Make them go away. Make them just disappear so we don't have to listen to them say that The Red Door was a heartfelt film. My God! 2 peas in a pod. Soul Mission Impossible 7, and wow, loved it. It's listen, it's really good, isn't it? I got a couple things I want to talk about with the film though. And to your point, 98% is great. Here, let's talk about Rotten Tomatoes for a moment. We've done it before. For those of you longtime watchers, you guys are probably aware of where I'm going here. Rotten Tomatoes is an all-in, all-out situation, right? So you label it fresh or rotten. It's not about the score. It's about whether when you go to put your review in, and I have reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I haven't done it in like over a decade now because it's like I don't want to bother writing a 500-word review to put up. It's not even worth my time. The clicks are so low, it doesn't even matter. I don't care what it is. Ask anybody. You get very, very little traffic from it. They just read the blurb. Here's the thing. When you put your review in, you have a choice, rotten or fresh, right? So on a movie like Mission Impossible, you're going to have it as fresh. There's no way that anyone's going to have it as rotten, except for, my God, Scott Mendelson. I love you, but as a critic, Scott Mendelson, not a great critic. True, it's true. We could debate this. He's a very smart guy, knows a lot about box office and marketing and all that. But as a reviewer, I no. But when you look at it, you have fresh or rotten. This is going to be fresh. So 98% doesn't surprise me. There are issues with the film, though. In 2 Ps, I think you would agree with me. It's definitely overlong, right? There's many scenes like the airport scene where they're going through and he's walking through trying to figure out where the other key is. And my God, I can't with the two halves of one magical, medallion that saves the universe. If I have to Transformers and this and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, here's one half, here's the other half. I can't do it anymore. But that scene runs on too long. The opening scene with the submarine could be tightened up. Everything I would say in Mission Impossible could be screwed down and compacted just a little bit. It goes to every film, though. But it's not enough for me not to recommend it. It's still very good. And the moments that are great are like pinging the top of the meter, right? So not a surprise at 98%. Because it's an all or nothing site, and therefore everyone's going to have it at fresh. You're not going to put this at rotten. The films that are interesting is where you get like a 50% and the film's better than that number, but because it's like right on that, it's polarizing. So it's better than that number, that 50% rotten, but it looks like it's a 50% film. That's where you have to watch out for Rotten Tomatoes. So in this case, yeah, it makes total sense. It's 98%. So that's a good super chat, by the way. Yes, 2 Ps, great film. It's really good. It's really good. I just want to tighten up. I mean, what else do I want tight? Every movie I see, I want to see tightened up. By the way, tonight's kit is Atlanta United. Someone asked, why did I choose this? Because it has red. I have a million red kits. I haven't worn this one in a while. I needed one that was a red and a door, and this one looked like it's got the black and the red, like you were opening and closing a red door. I just made that shit up. Hopefully, I mean, right? All right, any producer Nate? Yeah, producer Nate took off. It's just me. I had a feeling Nate would take off. Let's do a couple more things, and then we are going to. He said what? He said Halloween Ends was good. That's right. Oh my god. No, listen, Scott Mendelson. We've had drinks together. I like Scott. I've said it before, but he's not a good film critic. Perry said Sinclair Daniel was a scene stealer in Red Door. No, you know what? That's great. That's a great comment, and this is fun. I can have some fun with this. Sinclair Daniel, and yes, she is a black actress, but I'm going to tell you something. Her character, so I don't even want to get into this movie. It's not worth the time. But she is the roommate of the kid who's possessed and he's in college. And she comes in, and the joke is it's a woman with a man in the same dorm room because her name is Chris. And they didn't know. They thought Chris was a guy. And then she stays there for a night. But the thing is her character is so overbearing that when she arrives, she's already like quipping and doing all this shit. Hey man, yeah, what? And you're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like soften the entry and then work up into the I don't give a shit about anything and I say whatever I want, which we love. But there's just a way. Again, I know the character's not written well, and this speaks to the horrifically bad screenplay. But she's not bad. I just don't like the writing of her character, so it's not her fault. But I mean, in a movie like this, there's no such thing as anything that steals. The only thing this film steals is your money if you paid for it. There's no scene stealers. There's no movie. Well, the movie is a stealer because, again, it's stealing your cash. That's the only thing that this film steals. We can't be so generous with these grades on a film as middling, unforgettable, and boring as Red Door. We can't do this, guys. We can't do it. She was certainly fine. I mean, right? Did you see it, Meg? YouTube? She's fine. I would not come out of the movie and say, "Oh wow, she's fine," and it's not like, and the kid's not good. The kid's definitely not a great actor. He's the same one as the little kid, and obviously he hasn't done a whole lot of work since the first one in 2010. So they said, let's just have the same kid. And he's just hasn't really expanded. He doesn't have a lot going on. He's an artist. He's a tortured artist. I don't want to talk about Insidious anymore. It was so forgettable that it's wasting my time to even discuss it. I feel bad for anybody that pays for the movie. Let's have some fun. I need to lighten the mood up because I just savaged critics again because they all suck. It's time to do the physique critique for David Corenswet. Now, I wanted to do this before and I completely forgot, and I want to apologize. Because when we do the physique critique, we need to make it timely, which obviously when we know David Corenswet's going to be the next Man of Steel, we need to look at him with his shirt off. So guys, and by the way, nobody else can do this, and you know why. Don't make me do it, but you know why. We're the only channel that can get away with the physique critique. Help me out. Come in the comments and tell me. There's one only person who can do this is me. Let's look at David Corenswet, and here he is. Let's look at some shirtless pictures of David Corenswet, everybody. For those of you new to the channel, you're like, what the hell is happening here? David Corenswet, the new Superman. Okay, so there he is, shirtless. He's thin, right? He has a little shape to his chest. Let's get a different picture here. And I'm going to give him some tips. Okay. I'm going to give him some tips for how the first thing that I need to see David Corenswet do, he needs to start working on his pecs. We need to get that shelf built up, right? We need to see more depth to his breasts. Oh my God. But right, we need to have a little more definition, certainly more definition, but we also need size. So he needs to work on both size and definition. This is a really not a good look for Superman. He looks almost like girly arm there, right? So we need to work on obviously, we've got to work on the chest. We got to work on the delts. We got to work on the tries, the buys. And I think we can also do a little trap work. Now, I don't have the biggest traps. I do my best. A lot of it's genetic. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We talk about like exercising and all these things quite a bit here because it's important to me. But I will be forthright with you. Genetics do play a role. You can only do so much with what you're given. You can certainly build on and make things a lot better. But some people, like great example, calves. Calves are genetic. If you have big calves, and give me a thumbs up if you feel this. If you have big calves or small calves, you were genetically predisposed to have those. Therefore, you can do whatever you want in the gym. The chances are they're still going to look thin. So trust me, as a guy who has skinny calves, I will attest to that. But Corenswet needs to get in the gym and just do a little bit more, size, and we need to get him really going. And I'm sure that's exactly what Warner Brothers is doing. One more is we need to get the definition and the vascularity going. We just need to. Now, for those of you who are like, this is going to be quick and I'm going to get out of here. I'm only going to do it for like 1 second. 1 second. because you're all going to be like, oh shit, there he is again. Every time we do this, I need to show you this because the point is that we're the only channel that can do this because I can walk the walk and talk the talk. If I couldn't, you guys would all go, this is ridiculous. Look at this pile of goo calling David Corenswet not jacked. So as such, I remind you of who is hosting the show tonight. That is where we need to get David Corenswet. So David, if you need to get there, this would be the good look for you. Send me your information. There, that's it. The reason we do that is, oh my God, hold on. The reason that we do that, and I know you guys are like, oh, Mr. Vane. No. The reason we do that is because there's going to be someone out there going, oh, look at Weber critiquing physiques, and then, oh, well, okay, he's allowed. No one else can. No, come on. Name another YouTuber, like film guy, who could even, because you'd all laugh. You go, what? What are you doing? Who are you calling skinny and girly armed? Oh my God, you're right. The actor who plays the son in Insidious he was in The Whale. I knew I'd see that kid. That's 2 films that I hate from this guy. Get him out of here. I don't want to be, I'm too old for Superman. At least I'm on it. I know the reality of it. I'm not 29 anymore. Don't even ask. But the point is you don't have to. You can pretend you are and go to the gym and look good. But Corenswet, part of it, he knows this. Part of being Superman is getting in shape, and he's not there. He's got a long way to go. So I'm praying that James Gunn has hooked him up with a trainer. Again, if you want James, I know the brass over at Warner Brothers stumbles through the channel from here to there and watches here and there. I need you to get a message to them. If they want to get a hold of me, I can get him there. It's not, I can get him the supplements. And this is, by the way, all natural. We can get him there. Just trust me. I can be Brainiac. I mean, the reality is if they ever make a 300, they already made the prequel. If they made a sequel, even though they all died. If they make a 301, I can be one of the extras. I would be perfect. They wouldn't even need to go through the training. They'd be like, Weber, just get in the back and take your shirt off and stand there. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Lex Luthor. I'd shave my head. I think I could do it. I think I'm too big for him. I'm not big, but I'm sorry, guys. You guys know it's like a thing I have to do. But the reason I do that is because I'm not doing it again. My problem, this is over at this point. Is just to remind everybody who wants, that can't do that. How dare he say David Corenswet has girly arms? Oh shit, he can walk the walk. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that. Listen, if we ever do a sexiest YouTube film person, could I be in the running? I'm not saying I'm going to win. I'm just saying, could I at least be one of the 4 options? That's all I'm asking. One of the 4 options. That's all I'm asking for. Let me make sure I don't have anything else. We'll get into whatever you guys want to do. We'll do another 15. We're out of here in an hour tonight. It's a 1-hour show. I think I got to everything. If you have something you want to talk about, come in with a super chat, because producer Nate ran off like he always does. And I'm left by myself, which is fine. We can do it because it is open comment time. Oh, I do have something I want to talk about. Did you guys see this? Deadpool 3 is going to be hard R. And I'm like, okay, here it is. This is the discussing film tweet. Is it Karen Sony, the guy who plays the cab driver, the Uber driver? Watch. He says that Deadpool 3 is still hard R and does not feel different. And what do I have on the screen? No shit, Sherlock. Are you kidding me? We knew Deadpool 3 was going to be hard R. Thank you, Discussing Film, for the breaking news. And actually, I guess it's comic book, for telling us what we already knew. What are you going to tell us next? The year, everybody, is 2023. We are in the month of July. And also, Deadpool 3 is hard R. No shit to all 3 of those. You might as well just don't bother. Do you think Ryan Reynolds would let Disney make a non-hard R Deadpool? No. Why even talk about this? There's nothing. Why do we even give any attention to this? We knew this was the case. Yes, I understand, Kevin, but come on, you know what I'm saying? It's Disney. Of course I know it's 20th century. Or you're just saying that, yeah, of course, which is the way Disney can get around it, right? Same with Searchlight. Searchlight can have a horror film that can do stuff. Deadpool 3 will be 20th century. No shit, but it's still Disney, right? Disney's not going to slaughter the golden goose. Deadpool 3 is going to be a huge, massive, maybe a $200 million opening film. Seriously, I mean that. If it's even remotely better, I think 2 is not great. If it's like as good as 1 and energetic and is more focused and more fun, Ryan Reynolds, if you're watching, I know you follow me on Twitter. If you're watching, please just make this film a blast and make it under 2 hours. Ryan, please do not make me direct message you. Please just make this film 15959 or less. That's the only request I have, and scale back the number of characters. Too many characters in 2. I know I'm asking for a lot here. 2 things. Under 2 hours, fewer characters, tighten the scope, make the film. Okay? And Real Opinion's already like Deadpool 3 is going to be bad. MCU will weaken the intensity. Reynolds can't. Well, listen, here's why it's not going to be bad, because you've got Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds have chemistry like you. In fact, you know what? This is why I love the show. We are going and love the flexibility of the show. Why is that shirtless guy still up here? Come on, dude. Get that guy out of here. Watch this. If you haven't, I'm going to put on the headphones. This is, I don't believe, a copyright thing, because this was an interview. So I'm not going to worry about if it's a copyright. You guys ready to listen to something funny? If you've never heard this, I want you to interview. Hold on, Jackman. If you haven't, this is for a film called Eddie the Eagle. Did you remember this? Hold on. Okay, here we go. We're going to go sound full on this. We're all going to listen to this. Is where you see the chemistry of Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. You saw it for the first time way back when Eddie the Eagle was out 7 years ago. None of you saw the movie, but do you remember this? Let's listen up.
Ready? We're ready. Well, this is my first time interviewing someone else. I'm very excited. Some of these questions I may have written before I saw the movie. So the movie's called Eddie the Eagle, and now you play Eddie.
No.
Right?
No. No. You did see it, right, man?
Oh, no, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Yeah. Come on,
right.
man.
Many actors enjoy performing their own stunts.
Yes.
Do you do all your own acting?
If there's sex scenes, I do them.
Yes.
Look how
That's
young
what
they
the
both
craft
look, by the way.
is.
Yeah. It's key to a good marriage.
Did you guys get any notes from the studio to sew Eddie's mouth shut? Make lasers shoot from his eyes?
You know, I didn't, but I thought it'd be a great idea. As a story, it totally makes sense.
100%.
Always.
100%. Do you ever age?
Not since 2008.
You're gorgeous. You're a 2-time Tony winner. You're an
I love Ryan
Oscar-nominated
Reynolds.
actor.
Mm.
Now, how much of Hugh Jackman's immense success is raw talent, and how much is just advantageous bone structure?
Thank you. Coming from Sexiest Man Alive, 2012?
10.
10. Oh, we're both
Oh,
over.
8? Yeah.
We're 08.
We're the old, yeah. We're the old model. I'm going to open this up to a few fan questions here that I got. First one comes from Brian Blenolds from Vancouver, British Columbia. Ooh,
Fantastic.
I love Latin America.
That's amazing.
Brian asks, Hugh, I heard that on X-Men Wolverine, you had specially designed lifts put in your shoes so you would appear taller than one of your co-stars. Is this true or just a silly fact?
It's true.
Do you see? They have tremendous chemistry. Okay. And this was the first time that you saw that the two of them together, and they started going back and forth on Twitter. And this film was like a total bomb. You guys remember Eddie the Eagle? I never even saw it. It's got Taron Egerton, right, about the ski jumper. I didn't see it. I've heard it's fun, but it was a total bomb. But this was where you see it. So I have they're going to work together really well, you guys. I mean, this is going to be great. I can't wait for it. How can you not be excited for Deadpool 3? You're talking to the guy who gets down on shit all the time. You guys know from watching the channel. So why Sean Levy is directing it? Because he worked with him on the Adam Project. What's the name of that movie? The Adam Project, right? Yeah. He worked on him with that, and then also with whatever the other one was. He's done. So here's what Ryan Reynolds wants. I think, and I understand this about Ryan Reynolds. When you're as successful as Ryan Reynolds, and you have a very specific vision for the film or for his team or for his gin, you are going to be very controlling about your product because you have great passion and care and love for it. So you might be maybe not the easiest person to deal with because you're only striving for the best. So I think it's important for Ryan Reynolds to have someone directing the film that he can essentially hold ultimate power over. Now, I understand for a lot of directors who watch the stream, and I know you do, what I just said is making you scream. But in the case of Ryan Reynolds, when you're dealing with a star of his magnitude, and we can say that he's one of the biggest stars in the world, you have to understand that what he wants, he's going to get. So you need a director on set who is familiar with the talent, who knows the mercurial nature of the talent. In this case, we don't know for sure, but I imagine that Ryan is a demanding person, as he should be. He's very successful, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think we actually put too much stock in you can't be so dogged in your beliefs about trying to make something better. Granted, there's a line you can't cross, and whatever that is, obviously being a total asshole. But you need to have someone that's works with you that understands how you work, and that's why Sean Levy is directing this film. There's been stories of Ryan maybe butting heads a little bit with the former directors of Deadpool 1 and 2, with two different guys, right? Who was the first one? The guy, Leach, and who did the second one? I'm forgetting. But the two different directors, which speaks to a little bit of butting heads, because, again, when you're working with a star of that magnitude, you're going to have to relent to that person. You just don't have a choice. And the problem is going to get when you get a director in there that's like, no, and then you're going to have someone removed. Remember when Vin Diesel got what's his name fired from Fast and Furious 10, Fast X, because Vin Diesel's a pain in the ass. The difference is Ryan Reynolds is deserving of being demanding. Vin Diesel is not, right? I mean, other than Fast and Furious, what does Vin Diesel have? Nothing. Less than 10 o'clock. Less than 10 minutes. 10 o'clock. I'm looking at 10 o'clock. Less than 10 minutes, and we're out of here on this Thursday night. My daily routine. Oh my God, is this what this was? 8 a.m. wake up. 8:01 take shirt off. I don't listen. Honest to God, mega YouTube. I don't flex in the mirror. I don't. It's just part of It's just part of life. You just do it. Oh my God. Today's the 35th anniversary of License to Drive, the Coreys. Who was the girl? Hold on. This is what I like. At the end of the show, we just do random shit. Hold on. The girl in that movie was so hot. I mean, she was like, oh, who was that? Give me a second. I'm going to find her. Yeah, we're on the channel. Here we go. View stream. Hold on. Let's look for her. The girl in License to Drive. She was, I want to know it when I see it. Who the hell is she? Why is she not on here? Was it Heather Graham? Wait a second. What was the other movie with Corey Haim that had the hot girl? I wasn't thinking Heather Graham. I thought that was License to Drive. Hold on. Let me go through Corey Haim's movies. There's another movie that was he was in, and the girl was like so hot. I'm saying the old me, like Creepy Weber. No, back when the movie came out, she was like, oh, there it is. Dream a Little Dream. Do you remember that? Her name was Piper Laurie? Was that who it was? Hold on. Meredith Salinger. Remember her? Do you guys remember that movie, Dream a Little Dream? I'm sorry, I've completely gone off the rails. You guys were like, it's the 35th anniversary of License to Drive, and then I go to another Corey Haim movie. Meredith Salinger. Oh my God, she was so hot in that movie. Look, see? Look. Like she was, if Erick back in that day could have a girlfriend that looked like Meredith Salinger, I would have been like, oh my God. Like everybody, she was like the cutest. She did like nothing after that, I don't think. Who were 5 actress crushes? Definitely her. You know what I love? You know, it's a great movie. In fact, you know what? I was going to make this I'm going to make this the movie. Hold on. Give me a second. I got to change my MMT must see because I'm going to change it to, so I had a different movie. Let me change it. It was, hold on. Okay. Here is tonight's, and it has to do with the girls that we had crushes on as Gen X. Here, give me a second. Let me pull it up. You guys ready? This is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. John Hughes's Some Kind of Wonderful. It's our must-see tonight. 1987. I had the cassette. I listened to this cassette forward and backward because back then it was very hard to fast forward and rewind a cassette. Over and over. I listened to this so many times. Flesh for Lulu. I Go Crazy. Miss Amanda Jones. You had Jesus and Mary Chain on that. Trust me, when it comes to music, I could go like all night about that. But you had Eric Stoltz, Mary Stuart Masterson, and who else? Leah Thompson. We all love Leah Thompson. How could you not? So there's another. Leah Thompson, Meredith Salinger. Oh my God, the girl from what's the one where the babysitter, he buys the babysitter? I was just talking about that the other day with the other film. What's the one where Patrick Dempsey buys? I literally should know this. It's on the top of my thing. He buys the babysitter to be popular. She's definitely on the list. She was so hot in that movie. Amanda something rather. Who's seen Some Kind of Wonderful? Anybody? Come in here and tell me you've seen Some Kind of Wonderful. That's right. Heather Graham was. That's right. Leah Thompson is. Yeah, I mean, listen, her daughter is very talented too. She's great. I love that movie Buffaloed. It was out during COVID. It was really, she's very good in that. Thank you, Sham K. I knew it was a Beatles song. Can't Buy Me Love. The girl, the cheerleader in that movie that Patrick Dempsey pays to be his girlfriend. She's so hot. I love that film. Can't Buy Me Love is another. You have a twofer tonight. You have Some Kind of Wonderful, and you have Can't Buy Me Love, Amanda Peterson, who really didn't do much after that. But yes, Heathers is great. These are all wonderful films, and you wonder why I'm here tonight, guys. We only have 5 minutes. Because of movies like Heathers, Can't Buy Me Love, Some Kind of Wonderful, Lost Boys, all of these 80s films, especially from 85 to 90, that was like my round wheelhouse, right? That was when I was the age-ish of the characters, and because that's why we're Gen X, my God, those films are classic films, not just for the time period, but I'd argue for today. I wish we had more films that represented life like that. Truthfully, the world's a much different place now in 2023 than it was in 1987. I thank my lucky stars every single day that I was raised in the 80s and 90s when things were simpler, when things were safer, when people weren't freaking out over the dumbest shit, and people just lived. We weren't on our phones all the time. We were present. We went to movies. We talked about them afterwards. We didn't post our reactions. We didn't do live streams discussing Insidious, The Red Door. You know, it was just simpler, and I miss it, and I'm glad I had experienced that. I'm sorry for those of you who didn't, but I will say this: if you didn't, go back and watch a film like Some Kind of Wonderful. Go back and watch a Heathers. Go watch Can't Buy Me Love. You will be transported to 1987, 88, 89, Lost Boys, and you'll be like, wow, life was great. You know, there's a reason why people love, and I don't watch What's It Ass on Netflix, Stranger Things, but people love it because it's set in the 80s. I mean, look at a movie like Super 8, not a great film, but it's made so much better because it has that 80s feel. It's a better film. Super 8's a better Spielberg youth film than The Fabelmans. Give me a like for that alone. We talked about that when it came out. Super 8's, I'm going to pretend Super 8 is The Fabelmans for the rest of the time. I'm going to pretend The Fabelmans didn't exist. That's how bad that film was. We're under 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes here. Amy Dolan, she's out of control. You're 100% correct with Tony Danza. Animotion. Gold Star. Phoebe Cates. Boom. Jamie Gertz, all these, 100%. Phoebe Cates. I mean, there's a reason why the scene from Fast Times at Ridgemont High is Judge Reinhold tossing off to her in her bikini. I mean, hello. I mean, look at Phoebe Cates. Was there anyone like just more perfect in a bikini than Phoebe Cates? That's who we grew up with. Those are our images of beauty. All the women I just pointed out. That's just what it was. It's what it was in the 80s, and you can't change the reality of what we were attracted to. Just like we started off the stream saying that, well, a few minutes into the stream, after we got past the incredibly dull and snooze-worthy The Red Door, we talked about Phoebe Waller-Bridge versus Florence Pugh as far as, and I understand one's younger. It's not about younger and older, by the way. Let's get back to that real quick. It wasn't about Phoebe Waller-Bridge being old and Florence Pugh being young. It's about one being more of in the tradition of all of the actors we just mentioned, Jamie Gertz, Amanda Peterson, Leah Thompson, then Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who here it is. Okay, so it takes me here it is. If Phoebe Waller-Bridge were in a John Hughes 80s film, she wouldn't be the girl that the guy desired. If she was in Some Kind of Wonderful, she would be Mary Stuart Masterson. She would not be Leah Thompson. At this point, the stream is over because I cannot do any better than that ever in the history of the channel. What I just said is so earth-shakingly profound that I can't continue another moment tonight. Guys, it was a pleasure. We're at the hour mark. That's when we typically hit the ejection seat. And tonight, I think it's a good time to hit because I'm exhausted after watching an incredibly boring film. I'm going to sleep well tonight thinking about Insidious, The Red Door. If you would please subscribe if you have not. Really appreciate all the support from you guys and making the decision to be here and to listen to the off ramblings of Midnight Movie Talk. But hopefully you have fun watching the show. We have fun giving it to you and delivering it. We're back on Sunday night, slow box office weekend, and whatever you want to talk about, let's make Sunday night kind of a wide open show. We'll do the box office and we'll leave it open to whatever you want to discuss, kind of a free for all. I'm open to that on Sunday night. Until then, live from the City of Angels.